Why did Italy fight WW2 with wood and fabric aircraft? It wasn't a lack of vision, it was an industrial struggle to balance tradition with the brutal reality of monoplane warfare. From the agile biplanes over Greece to the lethal Series 5 interceptors defending Rome, these are every major Italian aircraft of World War II. Biplane fighters, the final generation. Fiat CR.42. The Fiat CR.42 was the Chidi, a seasoned veteran of the Spanish Civil War. You're looking at a classic staggered wing biplane that represents the pinnacle of 1930s dogfighting. While it was an acrobatic masterpiece in 1940, it was essentially a flying relic by 1940, relegated to ground attack and coastal defense. Fiat CR.42. The CR.42 was the Falco, or Falcon, the primary defender of Italian skies at the start of the war. It is widely considered the finest biplane ever built, featuring a remarkably clean aerodynamic profile and elegant struts. It fought from the Battle of Britain to the sands of North Africa, proving that even a masterpiece of the past couldn't survive against modern monoplanes. But as the biplane era faded, Italy scrambled to join the all-metal revolution. Monoplane fighters, Series 0 and 1. Fiat G.50. The G.50 was the Freccia, or Aero, marking Italy's first leap into all-metal monoplane design. You'll recognize it by its compact frame and the often open cockpit that pilots demanded for better visibility. It featured a revolutionary retractable undercarriage, though its weak engine kept it from reaching its true potential. Macchi C.200. The C.200 was the Saetta, a rugged workhorse that flew from the Eastern Front to the Mediterranean. Look for its distinctive humped fuselage and blunt radial engine cowl that provided pilots with excellent visibility. While slightly underpowered compared to its rivals, it was highly maneuverable and respected by the men who flew it into combat. Reggiane Re.2000. The Re.2000 was the Falco 1, a fighter heavily influenced by American aeronautical designs. What stands out are its sleek elliptical wings, which featured advanced wet-wing integral fuel tanks. Though only used in small numbers by Italy, it was exported to Sweden and Hungary, where it saw significant service throughout the war. The arrival of high-performance German engines would soon turn these underpowered airframes into world-class hunters. The Series 5 fighters. The Apex. Macchi C.202. The C.202 was the Folgore, the thunderbolt that finally gave the Regia Aeronautica a seat at the top table. It is defined by its long, sleek nose, achieved by mating a Macchi airframe to a licensed German Daimler-Benz DB601 engine. This was the premier Italian interceptor, capable of engaging Spitfires on equal terms during the brutal air battles over Malta. Macchi C.205. The C.205 was the Veltro, or Greyhound, a high-altitude predator built for the desperate defense of the Italian mainland. It is visually similar to the Folgore, but packed a much larger punch with the more powerful DB605 engine. It was one of the most dangerous opponents in the Mediterranean theater, tearing through Allied bomber streams with lethal efficiency. Fiat G.55. The G.55 was the Centauro, a heavy fighter evaluated by the Luftwaffe as the best fighter in the Axis. Its defining features are the wide-track landing gear and an aggressive, streamlined profile designed for high-speed combat. Most of its legendary service occurred after the armistice, where it became the primary weapon for the RSI in northern Italy. While the fighters guarded the skies, Italy's unique three-engined giants were busy sinking the Allied fleet. Bombers and torpedo bombers. Savoia Marchetti SM-79. The SM-79 was the Spardiero, famously known as the Hunchback for its distinctive bulge behind its cockpit. This three-motor design was one of the most effective land-based torpedo bombers in the Mediterranean, sinking massive amounts of Allied tonnage. It was the absolute terror of the Royal Navy, despite its seemingly awkward wood and fabric construction. Savoia Marchetti SM-81. The SM-81 was the Pipistrello, or Bat, a rugged pre-war bomber that found a second life in the dark. Note the fixed, spatted undercarriage and the three-engine layout that made it a recognizable silhouette over the desert. By 1940, it was moved to night bombing and transport duties, where its legendary durability made it a favorite in harsh colonial theaters. Kant Z-1007. The Z-1007 was the Alcione, a high-performance medium bomber built almost entirely of wood. Its defining feature is the clean three-engine configuration and impressive speed for a bomber of its size. It performed brilliantly in the dry Mediterranean air, though its wooden structure suffered from structural rot in more humid climates. Beyond heavy bombing, Italy deployed specialized aircraft for the dirty work of scouting and ground attack. Attack and reconnaissance. Breda BA-65. The BA-65 was the Nibbio, a heavy ground attack aircraft designed for the low-level strike role. Its bulky, muscular frame housed a powerful engine meant to carry heavy ordnance into the western desert. While formidable on paper, it suffered from poor pilot visibility and reliability issues that hampered its combat career. Caproni K311/K313. The K311 was a dedicated reconnaissance platform used across the Balkans and the Mediterranean. Its most striking feature is the extensively glazed nose, providing the observer with a panoramic view of the battlefield below. It served as the eyes of the Italian army, providing vital intelligence despite its light armament. Outnumbered and often fighting with technology a decade behind the curve, the pilots of the Regia Aeronautica proved that skill could bridge the industrial gap. From the Hunchback bombers to the Greyhound interceptors, these machines defined the Italian war effort in the air. Outgunned, underpowered, and outmatched, yet still fighting. Which of these Italian legends surprised you the most?